So that was an ending no one could have predicted. We have a lot to talk about. Hi guys! So the end has, well, it's been about 48 hours now since the end of Season 3 of Produce 101, also known as Produce 48. I think a lot of us are still reeling from what's transpired. But before we get into that, I just want to do a quick explanation because obviously I tried to keep up and do recaps, but there were a couple reasons why I obviously didn't do recaps past episode 3. First of all, a good chunk of episodes were just who's the center, who's the leader, who's the center, who's the leader. A trainer yells at them, a trainer praises them, and then they perform, and then nothing really happens afterwards. It got really difficult to make a genuine recap for every episode like that. Also, I took to writing a script beforehand, which I never do for any of my videos, and it just got to be way too tedious and kind of not worth the effort I was putting into the script when I got to making the video. So I stopped at episode 3, so we'll consider my recap sort of like a, if you're interested, check out the rest for yourself sort of thing, instead of an actual full recap. Second of all, I got a promotion at work. I am now an associate level librarian, so that's exciting stuff. I swear it's exciting. So there's a lot to learn with an associate position, so I'm sorry I abruptly stopped doing recaps. But I am here now because we are at the end of the entire, well, technically the entire series, and as this is my first ever survival show that I've watched from beginning to end in live time, I have a lot of thoughts about what's happened. Before anything, let's catch up. Obviously, if you haven't seen the finale, don't watch this because I'm going to be spoiling everything. So I ended up watching the finale without the subtitles because you really don't need to know what is being said to figure out what's going on. So I watched as my bae, Takeuchi Miyu, tried to rightfully fight for her spot as main vocalist. I also watched as each girl gave their special ending pose to decide who is the center for the second to final time for their 2 group of 10 performances. One, a song produced by the CEO of Pledis, and one produced by Aki P, who runs all of the 48 groups. Notable things from that was that Yena was the center for the Japanese song, and Chaeyeon was the center for the Korean song. And that Miyu hit the high note, and it was a beautiful moment, and everybody else did really good too. However, in my personal opinion, the Japanese song, miles better in every single aspect than the Korean song. I felt like the Korean song was like way too kind of all over the place. You really didn't get a sense of who the center was, who the lead vocalist was. The song itself wasn't the best. Everybody shined, get what they were given, and I wasn't really a fan of the choreography. But the Japanese song, like everybody had their moment to shine, even Chowon with her one word, madewa, which she did really well on. Good job, Chowon. Everything was nicely distributed. The Japanese song had really great choreography too, and it was just overall a much more catchy song. But everybody did really well and proved why they are the top 20. Oh, and they gathered all of the trainees. Before all that, they gathered all the trainees to do a final version of the Pick Me song, which has been annoying and also very catchy at the same time, even though it came out 4 months ago. And so it was really cool to see all of the trainees, current and eliminated, come together one more time. It was really cool. They also did a final song, I think it's called Dream, but I'm not sure. And it had all 20 of the girls singing. It was an emotional ballad. What hit home for me was that Sakura was crying right in the beginning of the song. It was really sweet, and it showed that, you know, not just her, but all the girls have put so much of themselves and so much effort and time into doing this show in the hopes of being in the final group. The final group name, by the way, is iZone, which is the name of a Polaroid brand and also sounds like a skincare line, but I kind of understand why, because IZ looks like 12 and 1 to be unifying, you know, so I get it. Anyway, after that, there's some more emotional moments, like behind the scenes stuff. They read letters that they wrote to themselves. Tears ensue. Like, they do a little bit of like random interviews here and there. Obviously, it wasn't subtitled, so I didn't really know what was being said. I had a good guess, but... And then we got to like the last hour and 10 minutes or so. It took over an hour to announce who the 12 girls were. Never again will I ever complain about how all American shows kind of drag that moment out. Like American Idol is a great example of a show that drags out those sort of who's eliminated and then we'll go to a commercial break. Those commercial breaks were shorter than the times in live time that Seunggi took to announce each girl. Like, the tense background music was on and on and on. It went on forever. I was sitting at my computer, like, having heart palpitations and getting so annoyed and stressed out. It took so unnecessarily long, and if I was feeling that way, holy crap, I feel so bad for the 20 girls who were waiting. Like, they had them stand in a diamond formation for an hour. It was absurd. I was skipping through at that point, like just picking random times. I would jump ahead like 2 minutes and it would still be like, this girl is from HKT48. And then it'd be 50 seconds of nothing. And then they would finally say something. It was ridiculous. It was stupid and ridiculous, and I don't know why they did it because it's already such a stressful time for the girls. It really didn't have to be a 3.5 hour finale. They easily could have cut it down to 2 or 2.5 hours. The whole thing was just annoying, and it just did not sit well with me. And if this is how all, not only Produce 101 shows, but if this is how all Mnet produced survival shows are, I have no desire to watch one ever again. So those are my thoughts on that. But let's get to the girls who made the final 12. And they did that thing that they did for the entire series where they saved the very last seat for last. So we got number 11 through 1. At number 11, it was my awkward baby penguin from Urban Works, Kim Minju. At number 10, it was Woollim Entertainment's Kim Chaewon. At number 9, it was the full-cheeked little cutie from AKB48, Honda Hitomi. At number 8, it was Deer in the Headlights girl from 8D Creative, Kang Hyewon. At number 7, it was Woollim Entertainment's Kwon Yoonbi. At number 6, it was HKT48's ever-smiling little short girl, Yabuki Nako. At number 5, it was Starship Entertainment's An Yoojin. At number 4, it was Ueha's Cho Yena. At number 3, it was Stone Entertainment's Jo Yuri. And then instead of announcing 2 and 1, they called up the 2 girls who would be in contention for number 1, which would be the center spot of the group. And those 2 girls were Miyawaki Sakura, no surprise, and Jang Won-young, again, no surprise. And the center girl turned out to be, much to my surprise actually, it was Jang Won-young from Starship Entertainment, and HKT48's Miyawaki Sakura was number 2. As number 2, Sakura was giving her thank you speech. It's notable that Seunggi actually asked her if there was anybody she wanted to thank, and out of all the people in the entire world, she thanked her newfound friend, Lee Chaeyoung from WM Entertainment. And they both cry. Like, Sakura cried talking to Chaeyoung. She didn't really cry when she was announced as the number 2 and the confirmed member of IZONE, but she cried when she was talking about Chaeyoung. It was so sweet. And then everything got really, really tense because we now had to announce the number 12 girl, and they bring it down to 4 people who could possibly be it. And of those 4 people, it was AKB48's Miyazaki Miho, Pledis Entertainment's Lee Kayun, Cube Entertainment's Han Chowon, and poor nervous wreck Chaeyoung from WM. One by one, Seunggi announces who is not the number 12 girl, and the first one is Miyazaki Miho at number 15, and at number 14 was Kayun, and I don't think a single person saw that coming, her not getting into the group. So it is now down to Chowon and Chaeyoung. The room is tense. Like, I think the room and the overall mood was more tense for number 12 than it was for any of the other girls combined. And the number 12 girl is Chaeyoung! Yay! This was her 3rd survival show, and I'm so glad she finally got into something. Sakura was notably super emotional. She gets to promote with her new friend. Like, it's just a wonderful final outcome for a very mixed feeling finale. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, before I dissect the entire season, let's talk about the finale. I had been picking my top 12 after every elimination, so once like the final 50-something, 58 were announced, I picked my top 12 based on that, and then again at the top 30, and then again at the top 20. And my consistent top 3 were always Kayun, Miyu, and Chaeyeon. Kind of. I had Jurina up there until she had to leave, so. And here's who my top 12 were. They got obliterated. Only 6 of my 12 picks made it, and it was girls that I had expected to get eliminated that made it. Like, I didn't expect Chaewon to make it. I didn't expect Joyuri to make it. Like, crazy, crazy stuff. And I had said this before on Facebook, but I know the lineup is not what at least international fans want. I've heard that, with the exception of Hyewon, which I'll get to in a moment, that Korean and Japanese netizens are actually pretty satisfied with who got picked. I think the only thing they were all in agreement with is that they would have traded Hyewon or Minju for Kayun. But all 20 girls were deserving. It's just that the final lineup, I'm not quite sure how to feel about the final lineup itself.